up, my fellow Soul Tribe internet people? This is what y'all been waiting for, the first episode of Sincerely Yours by TaMarri Mays, hosted by yours truly. I am your fellow creative, your host, TaMarri Mays. In this podcast, we talk about the culture, everything good and bad, toxic and non-toxic, what we love, what we don't love about it, stuff people don't like to talk about. Right now, I have my lovely Soul Tribe sister with me, Tyhiela.
What's up?
What's happening, Ty?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, girl. How you doing? So, me and Tyhiela, we are on a whole spiritual mental health journey, and I thought it would be a good idea to bring her on my podcast. She's a fellow creative as well. What do you do, Ty? Tell her, break it down.
What do I do? I don't do much, I'm just saying, I just be in a little corner sometimes, just asking everybody in the world if they'll be my friend, from time to time. Now, I am a storefront owner of a crystal healing shop. I'm a crystal healing jewelry designer. My business is called God Gems. I've been established for about 5 years now. And I sell crystal healing jewelry, and I specialize wrapping in copper. So I do a couple things. I used to call myself a Jilla trade, a Jada trade, whatever you call it. But no, I'm actually a creative director, a songwriter for soundtrack and film, and a crystal healing jewelry designer.
Hey, hold up. Y'all gonna put some respect on background work. You heard me? That's how we met, Ty.
What you mean? I was gonna get to that point.
Yeah,
I was gonna let them know. Okay,
Yeah,
so I said songwriter for soundtrack and film. So
right.
You didn't ask me the other questions because I was gonna get to letting them know that I do background artistry.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I didn't want to take.
It's my fault. Okay, let me
Go
rephrase
ahead.
it.
I got you. Go ahead. You good?
So Ty, break it down. Tell them how we met, Ty.
I met the amazing TaMarri on the set of Resident. I have also been doing background artistry work since about 2013. I started in Las Vegas on How High, I was gonna say. I did stand in for How High too for Alyssa Cost, by the way. But before
Not
that,
your own horn, but
I started off doing stand-in at TV commercials in Las Vegas when I lived there for high school and college. I went there for high school and college. But when I started chasing my dream, I was doing background and film, and I did it for Mall Cop 2. So I did Mall Cop 2 and Step Up 5 in Las Vegas. And I got the featured role as the cocktail waitress and stuff on Mall Cop 2. Never watched the movie. I just learned that background was fun. And I knew that I was going to meet some amazing people like me. And I took that when I left Las Vegas. I came to Atlanta. I signed up for one of the amazing casting agencies, Central Casting. And I was working on set for The Resident. And I became core, and I was able to meet an amazing friend on freaking core, and she's awesome, and she had like super swag, and she has a podcast. I'm like, oh my god, this is totally awesome. And she said she wanted to interview me. I'm like, wow. So yeah, we are here.
We
manifest. We get the job done up in this world. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Listen, let me tell you something. One thing, I saw Mall Cop so many times, and it never registered. I saw it so many times.
Did you watch Mall Cop 2? When they make sequels, they kind of like whack. So I didn't watch Mall Cop 2.
I watched both of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it didn't register. It was before I met you, so it was like I seen it.
You can see the back of my head in the convention part. It's just.
But you was in there.
That's great. But I put in with background, with actors, you got to start from somewhere. And I don't even look at the point of people downplaying. That ain't even in my world. That was a long time ago when I even started it, and people, it's like, you better do what you love and love what you do. You trying to downplay something, but you here for 14 hours. So I encourage people, try it, test it. If it ain't you, it ain't you. But if you're in the entertainment and arts world and musician world, and you're trying to find different streams of income so you can stay out of corporate America, you better get your little butt in background. And if you love acting and watching movies, then why not?
Why not? I've said that. I was like, I told Ty yesterday before we originally did, this is the second time filming this podcast because me being a creative and a perfectionist, I didn't think it was good enough, so we deleted everything, which was already like an hour and 30 in.
All good.
And deleted again. But she's my rider, so she was like, we good.
They don't know that. They ain't got no
Right. I just want to let y'all know. But before that, we had this nice little conversation that kind of brought us to this point where we were filming this podcast at 11 o'clock at night, where I told her, Ty, I don't want to go back to corporate America. It's something about tasting that first taste of just pure creativity that really pushes
Getting out the matrix. I'm sorry.
Out of the matrix. You know what I'm saying? It's just something about being outside of what society consider is normal.
Yeah,
right?
but sometimes also too, you gotta let people know everybody can't do what we do.
Yeah, everybody can't do what they do, but I do encourage people to, okay, so I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was working in warehouse in corporate America, I should say, I would go up to people when I was like on my last few years of that. I would go to people 56 years old, been in a job for 20 years, still struggling. Why are you still here? What is keeping you here? What did you rather do? You know, I heard a lot of them want to be on a store, do this and that. Like, so why? If money wasn't an issue, would you be doing that? Like, what's keeping you here? So many people, it's not what you expect the answer to be. So many people was like, I'm scared.
At this point, I'm like an a-hole because I mean, people they find things to complain about in this world, or they can be a solution based. You can be solution based, or you can be the person complaining. So you got a choice in this world. You can really be whatever you want to be. So if you decide to be working in corporate America for 20 years and telling everybody for them 20 years that you want to be a storefront owner, or that you want to do motherfucking baseball, or you might want to do football, or you might want to be a model.
Right.
And you saying that for 20 years to an amazing, intelligent person like you, going up, wondering why these motherfuckers is here doing this, and then you see that they just are stuck. They're scared. You said the fear. Yeah, cool.
Fear.
But fear will stop you from everything and being comfortable and shit. You gotta take risks.
All day. And I contribute that a lot to people's mentality, their mental health.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a good relationship with fear, and the reason I say that, if you don't have a good relationship with fear, the reason I say that is because fear, you can use fear as a driving force.
An excuse
to do it. But people are using it as an excuse not to do it, right? So remember when, which we're going to speak on later, remember when I did my first poetry open mic, I told her I was scared.
It was awesome, amazing. I know she told me not to look at the camera, but this is what live podcast is. It was amazing. She did her first poetry and it was the bomb. Okay, my bad. Go
bomb, dickity. I think, I have this thing where I want to confront fear. I'm not going to be scared.
No.
I'm not going to be scared. And I think it has a lot to contribute to your mental health.
Yes.
If you're not mentally healthy enough to be like, okay, I am capable, I'm worthy of doing this, then you're going to forever be in that matrix.
Yep.
So, Ty.
Ma'am.
What is a good mental health practices for you? What is at your best? Where are you at? Like, what does it look like when you're at your best?
Okay, so I can tell you what I am at my best, and I can also tell you what are good mental health strategies for practices that I do. What I do for mental health, as far as what practices I take, the number one thing that people think is hard to do is meditation. I meditate. So I don't play that when it comes to me meditating. I have to meditate because I have anxiety. And I learned, I don't know the exact quota, but I know you accumulate over so many thoughts in your brain a day that it will drive you fucking crazy. I'm sorry for cursing me in podcasts, but no. So the most basic thing that I've learned that took me a long time to do and was very challenging was to meditate. The most easiest way to meditate is taking a hot shower. I mean,
girl, I moved. Let me tell you, I haven't had a bathtub in 2 years.
That whole meditation mineral bath, that's a whole nother swag that I ain't
Girl,
got to. But just period, hot people don't know how. They think it's very hard to meditate, and it's not. You got there. Look, there's certain music. There's hertz frequency music. There's chakra music. There's,
But even if you don't believe in even if you don't find that interesting,
man, listen to some ocean. You just type in ocean.
I listen to Angie Stone, My Sunshine. I listen to Erykah Badu, songs in A minor, something that's like lo-fi.
See, we got. The only way that I can make it blonde, I'm keeping it basic so people can know, because the black community sometimes, I ain't got time to do that shit, meditate, and that's not it. Like, you gotta reconstruct your mindset. It's all about what you want to do. So you say, oh, I can't meditate, I got so many thoughts, I can't do that, I ain't got time for that. If you don't have time to take 10 minutes of your time to calm your mind down for your time to have an easier time, that's your problem. You just want to be a complainer. You
want to be people love chaos.
So
because it's so normal. It's what they know.
Yeah.
They've been in chaos their whole entire life.
Yeah.
So, especially in the black culture.
Yeah.
So when you telling them, because this is what happened to me. So when you tell somebody that's been in chaos and who is not used to chaos on a regular basis about meditating, and they go meditate.
Yeah.
And it's like this real ass moment where everything's quiet and you're not thinking and shit like that. You're
like, you gotta keep restarting over. Your mind comes with
this stupid. Right.
And then dude, I thought I was gonna. I always was inspired by yoga, so I never thought I was gonna be that person to master yoga. I haven't mastered yet. I won't even call myself a beginner. I think I'm in the middle now. Because it's like, like my whole soul tribe, all my friends from my soul tribe. I mean, my very, very first best friend is a Kemetic yoga instructor in Jamaica with her mom. And they have a whole bunch of land, and they're Kemetic yoga instructors and they're amazing. And like, I grew up with her in Miami, and I never knew that, they was even, it's like, that was my first soul sister, to where now we're 30. And she's still in Jamaica. I've been trying to get to Jamaica since 2012 to go on her retreat, do plant-based. And it's like, so when it comes to just yoga itself, yoga is so dope. So like I said, I'm in the middle level. But all my soul tribe, all my friends, I got about like 6 solid friends it gets to that point when you get older. They get 6 solid, genuine friends. Like, they're my soul sisters that they literally are mastering. They're amazing Kemetic yoga instructors. So me, with my dingy ass, like, you gotta do what works for you, right? Mm-hmm. So yoga is the second phase of how I help with my mental health. Mm-hmm. Meditation is the first. So yoga, I can do yoga. The forget the first and second. The surrounding of the first and second is my gemstones, because gemstones are minerals of the earth. Our body is minerals of the earth. Our body is made out of silicon dioxide. Gemstones are made out of silicon dioxide. You put them on your body so they can heal you. Gemstones have 5 properties: metaphysical, meditation, healing, chakra, magical, another one, birthstone, astrology. So it gets to that point. So we can get deeper, but what helps me is meditation, healing with the freaking gemstones, and the whole entire yoga. And also, Hertz music. Look up Hertz, HERTZ, Hertz music. Different frequency music helps with your brain waves. If you look it up, there's different type of frequencies that help. That's why I got tapped into it, because I'm also an amateur with sound healing, but that's what I'm mastering right now. I'm getting my certification for energy healing, sound healing, and my Reiki master certification, so I can be able to teach people how to heal. Overall, you get it. Yeah.
Because here's my thing. I don't like when people look to people who have been on this journey as masters of a certain thing, because we're all on a journey ourselves. A lifelong journey. Spiritual healing and mental health is all a lifelong journey. You're gonna have tests. You're gonna have bumps in the road.
Yeah, you got complete different masteries. Like for what you do, like everything that you do as your profession, you took the time out to learn it differently, so you have to master it. So like, I just know with the apprenticeship, when you're going through apprenticeship, they say it takes 7 years to master something, so you go through apprenticeship. So boom, I read the Mastery by the 48 Laws of Power. I forgot to do the name, whatever, but the Mastery takes 7 years. So that in my mode, oh, master, you gotta master something. No, and I feel you. I don't think you're supposed to be mastered at that. I'm right in agreement with you. That's why the wording sometimes would be throwing people off and shit.
You good. Yeah. So when you started your journey on your good mental health vibe, was it freeing?
Was it what?
Freeing.
Oh yes, it was. Because I was going to be knocking people out if I didn't. Let me tell you. In high school, like, I think it's tolerance level and patience level. You always get them people like, oh, she poppy. Oh, you can't tell that person nothing. They got a bad attitude. And you learn that as you get older. Like, oh, my patience level is short. Oh, I don't take no shit. Ooh. And then you just learn, like, you get real antsy. Like, look, push all that. I just learned I had anxiety. And when it comes to like being free, it felt amazing because the only thing I have to do is just ignore.
Don't let it in.
Yeah, you know
that armor, right?
Yeah, I mastered emotion. Throughout these 10 years, I can have. That's why I mastered emotional intelligence. The type of career that I have, I did corporate America for over from 16 all the way up into 29, over 14, 15 years, to where I got into a point. I probably did everything, dib and dab, to where I got to this point to know that, nah, I know what I want to do, and you do what you love, and you love what you do, and you stay there. And if you want to switch it. We are caterpillars at every level blooming into a butterfly. You cannot tell me that I can't learn something and go to YouTube University in 2021. Excuse me, if I want to sign up for YouTube University, just like they said, they paying $237 an hour to be a goddamn pilot, because there ain't no freaking jobs for a pilot. Boy, I'm hopping on YouTube University and searching how to be a pilot, even though you can't do that. But I'm just saying, like,
I just think that when you go on your mental health journey, it is free. It's very free. That you see yourself from the beginning all the way to where you are now. In the beginning, you were the shell of a person that was always hurt. Whether you want to admit it or not, you might have been mad, but in order to be mad, you had to have some kind of other feeling to it. You had to be hurt about it or something. It had to hit you somehow. Yeah. So you see yourself from that point all the way to now, and it's like looking back, you can see it. You can see that how freeing this allows you to do, and what doors this has opened. We are here now.
Power of now.
We are here now, and we're filming a podcast. Girl. We're talking about how my friend has a storefront, how my friend is a songwriter, how we do all that.
Hey, it wasn't like this all the time. I was online first for 4 years. I started out at my job in corporate America. My manager used to tease me because he used to call my gemstones rocks. So he encouraged me to become a businesswoman. So every day he would see me with my rocks, and he would always clown me. But everybody in the goddamn call center would buy my rocks off of me because they seen that it's something about it.
Y'all who are just joining in, she is talking about gemstones, nothing else.
Yeah, no, we talk about gemstones, not that rock, crack, cocaine. No, we talk about gemstones, mineral of earth, crystals, birthstones. People know them by birthstones. They know them by carats and the ring, whether they're filed down, tumbled, whatever. Like I said, they're minerals of the earth. People go mining to find minerals of the earth. I wanted to first be I still am a geologist. So, but no, that's how I started. Like, that's how I became who I am. I love gemstones. I'm like, when somebody says that they're into stones, I ask them, are they into it by the colors or are they into it by the properties? And honey, when you say you into it with the
that's
properties,
how you separate the real from the fake.
Yes, because the gemstones, they have 5 properties. Like I said, and I don't even begin to educate people on stones. I don't get into that level. I'm out the matrix, so sometimes I have to analyze and observe and watch before I even think, before I speak on who I'm talking to when it comes to that. Because what you're not going to do is, look at me like I'm crazy, and I can tell if you're conscious or if you're not. And I don't give a damn if you woke or not. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's about common sense in this world right now.
And the common sense isn't what a lot of people have. Mm-hmm. So speaking of the good mental health, now you're in a good space. But in order to know that you're in a good space, you had to have known and went through the lowest point ever of your mental health. So, what happened to lead you down this path? What happened to lead you down this path?
You actually are my friend, like my genuine friend, because like this is the only interview that I have to where I'm actually telling this story. I believe I don't even need to be like an a-hole or a bitch, but like everybody got a story, and everybody don't want to hear that sob story and shit. So you gotta get it how you live it, and you gotta basically get through that whole mud process and get to the whole process of being excellent and then telling your story. So thank you for thinking that I'm at this peak in my life to where you can ask me those questions, because god damn it, let me tell you, girl, you lucky my friend, because I don't be telling people this shit. But
listen, girl, let me tell you something. I'm the type of person that truly believes that you can learn from anybody.
Absolutely.
You can learn from a crackhead on the street.
Those people, they got the best stories. They're angels.
They got the best stories, and you know what? They probably been through more things that a lot of people have never been through. So to sit back and listen to them, sometimes it's like, okay, I understand. So I like to listen to stories.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna tell you in your podcast. And by the way, this is the first episode. Shout out, this is amazing. Like, thank you. I lost my mind. I lost my mind in 2013. I was that kid that parents were together throughout my whole entire childhood up to 18, and my parents had got the divorce. I learned a lot of shit. My dad was Muslim. He was a controlling Muslim, and so I didn't like that about him. I didn't like him even being that way towards my mom. Got my mom out of the relationship of my biological father, and I lost my mind. It was like I was middleman of their whole entire arguments and stuff, and that drove me to a point of losing my mind. My mom, she gave me gemstones. My dad gave me the Quran, and he's Muslim, and she was universal, spiritual. And baby, that's how I woke up.
So tell me how you felt. I feel like people need to know. People hear losing your mind, and people think about people running down the street ass naked, screaming obscenities and stuff like that. Losing your mind could be
dreaming, not going to sleep. I was awake for 4 days straight. I didn't go to sleep. I had my finals. I was getting my bachelor's for college, so I was doing my finals online. I was watching 3 kids, my son that was 1, and also my 2 nieces that I helped my mom and dad raise. They was 1 at the time and probably 4 or 5. And I could not concentrate. So I lost my mind. I think the people downstairs called the police. They called the police because I guess I was screaming upstairs, and they came. Police asked me if I was okay. But I looked irregular, and they asked me a couple questions, and they had that truck waiting on the back for my ass. Nigga, they took me in the crazy home. I needed to come. I told them that my grandparents was talking to me, and grandparents has passed away. Learned you don't tell the cops that you're talking to your parents, your grandparents.
You don't tell the cops.
Even whether it was in my dreams or not. God damn it, I said the wrong shit. They put me in the truck, and I was in a crazy home for 72 hours. That had a whole changing of my life. Got the crazy home. Fast forward, was only in that thing for less than 72 hours. I was also during the process of me chasing my dream. I went to the X Factor. I passed all the auditions. I was waiting for my callbacks. I was, during that time of me being in the hospital for them 3 days, I was waiting on the callbacks. I had a warrant for my arrest because I didn't pay for my traffic ticket because I couldn't, because I was in the crazy home for the 3 days. That caused the X Factor not call me back because I had a warrant for my arrest in the system for a traffic violation. Doesn't matter what the ticket was for, but I lost my opportunity to be on the X Factor in 2013 for the Kelly Rowland audition. I passed all the auditions to be able to get to the point to get the audition, because you go through a lot of executive producer part. But yeah, that crushed me too. So that was like a crazy year, but that was my awakening. And
your lowest point.
That was lowest.
You can only go up.
You go forward, homie. I learned that I'm gonna do underground. I'm gonna be an independent artist. I'm gonna do all that amazing thing.
Indie artist.
I wanted to go to Fenham College, so I created my whole store. Now, Fenham College got to come to me and teach students about what I do. I didn't even have to get a degree for it. What you talking about?
What you talking about? Don't play with the kid.
Listen,
let me tell you something.
Period.
When we originally filmed the first time, you said that when you lost your mind, just to clarify for the people what losing your mind could be, you said you felt lost.
Lost in the sauce, started looking for God. Asked my mom, I wanted to know who God was. Asked my dad, I need to know who God was. Like I said, my dad gave me the Quran. My mom gave me the gemstones, and I lost my mind. I'm trying to learn the universal spiritual way of becoming in this world, and I'm also learning that in religion there's a God and there's a law. You know, in my world, I study religions. I don't have religion. I'm super spiritual. I don't have religion. I just respect all religions. But at the same time, I was learning the Quran, and I was learning about gemstones, and I got attached to the amethyst gemstone that activated my third eye, that opens up your pineal gland. I might be saying that word go wrong, but yeah, from then, it's a wrap. And that's what happened. And I love this world. I love who I am. I love who I am becoming. And
it's a beautiful journey to come back from
transitions.
A period where you weren't sure that there was. It's okay. So let me explain this to you. Right, when you grow up, like I grew up.
Yeah.
When you grow up, like I grew up. Let me get this up real quick. And everybody around you there's not a single person around you that is successful. Nobody besides
You're not that sorry. You said nobody.
Nobody
besides
besides Mr. Walmart and Mrs. Target and all that.
Those are
all the people.
They managers though.
The only people. So it's like you don't see it into it. And then on top of that, you're going through a bad mental break.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if there's an end. You don't know if there's a, the end of the movie is a happily ever after ending. You don't know if it's a happily ever after ending. You don't know what's going to happen next. So to pull yourself back up from that position and learn and understand that you are capable of creating your own future. You don't have to be like mom. You don't have to be like dad. You don't have to be like aunt, uncle. You don't have to be like these people. They're choosing to be like that because they don't want to think for themselves. And I commend you for that, for coming back from that mindset, from coming back from feeling lost and in 72-hour hold and stuff like that.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing that you're sitting here now. So we're gonna go on a quick intermission because we have to
pay some bills.
Pay some bills.
Yeah, that's what they
We
say.
out.
We gotta pay some bills.
We back.